Hello and welcome to the Business Spotlight interview series. I'm your host Sonali Nigam, and today I'm joined by Barbara Spoor, Managing Director at CRCS Legal. Hi, Barbara. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you today. It's a great honor. Thank you.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for saying that. Would you like to kick us off with a brief background as to who you are and what you do?
Yeah. My name's Barbara Spoor. I'm Managing Director of CRCS Legal. My business operates in the complaints and compliance arena, mainly for law firms. So I offer outsourced complaint handling and compliance solutions to barristers, solicitors, all that kind of area of law. So that's what I do.
Wow, that's quite interesting. Almost like a decade and more that you have been working. So, what do you attribute your growth to?
What I did was when I did a law degree as a mature student, and then I started working for the Law Society as a caseworker investigating complaints about solicitors. Then the function went off to the legal ombudsman, and I decided to start my own business to transfer the skills I'd learned and offer them to the law profession. And I've really what I've done is just kept going with it and sort of believed in what I'm doing. I love the job I do. I actually love dealing with complaints. I love dealing with compliance. And I offer a very down to earth service that anyone can pick up when they want to. And I offer solutions that work. So I don't just say, oh, you should do this. I actually say you should do this, and this is how we can do it together. So I offer that kind of service, that solution. And that's what I attribute it, just really being open and honest with people and giving them something that they need in a very down to earth manner.
That's quite interesting. So, what would you say are the biggest learning as an owner of the business running successfully?
The biggest learning I've had is that you have to do everything yourself, and it can be quite daunting. So you've got all the kinds of things that need to run a business, but it's you that has to do it. So basically, I've had to learn from scratch as to, I want to run this business. How do I do that? So from sourcing where to get a website and who can help me with that. So obviously, I reach out to people that have that expertise. What I should include in that website, having a LinkedIn profile so people can see me, following people, looking at articles, putting articles out, but that all falls onto me. And then obviously dealing with the work itself and speaking to my clients to make sure they're happy with what I do. And that's very important. I think that's really key to my growth, is that my clients understand that I'll give them the service that they need, but I'll also do it in a manner that tailored to them, and that's where it comes from. So what I've learned really is that you've got to be a little bit of everything, but also deliver a first class service to the client, and that obviously takes some time to do. And I've built up a great client base over the last 12 years I've been in business, and it's sort of, I've just grown and grown from strength to strength. And the most honor I have is when people recommend me to other people. I find that really amazing. So when somebody said I've been recommended, or somebody's told me your name and they come and speak to me, I really find that amazing, because I've worked very hard to get where I am, really.
Barbara, and your experience says it all, and the way that you try and give the service, I think I think we agree to what you say. So, of course, saying that, there are a lot of business owners listening to you. So, what are some common misconceptions about running a business, and how do you address them?
I think some common misconceptions are just simply that you're going to put the business out there and you're just going to attract clients. You're just going to get instantly, because you know what you're doing. You're great at your job, and you think people are just going to see that. And I also think a common misconception is that it's easy. it isn't easy by any stretch of the imagination. I
Right.
mean, sometimes I have to work weekends, and not really what I want to do, not what anybody wants to do. But if you want to get where you need to be, you've got to put the hard work in. And I think that's one of the things, is that people just think you've got a business, it's easy,
Hmm.
it just runs itself. It doesn't. You've got to
Okay.
put the work in. You've got to put the hours in. You've got to be there and engage with people as well, so that they understand what you offer, how you can help them. And that all takes time and dedication and hard work. And I think one of the things that people just think is, I'll start a business, it'll be dead easy, I'll do 9 to 5 and Monday to Friday, and that'll be the end of it. But sometimes it isn't like that. Sometimes it takes more than that. As I say, sometimes I work weekends because I have to deliver the service that I offer. And I don't begrudge it. I absolutely love it. So I love the business I do, as I said. And so I think to think it's an easy way to make a living isn't. It's very, very hard work. And I think that's the main thing I would take away. But the hard work pays off in the end. And you can get the fruits of your labor, as they say.
Right, and so rightly mentioned. But my head is stuck when you says there are times when I have to work on weekends, though you
Yes.
don't hate it. But then, of course, that's the nature of the work, and to run a business, it's not easy. So, can I quickly ask, how do you balance your personal life with the demands of running a business? How do you strike that perfect balance between the two then?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I do, and one of the key things I do, is I don't have email on my telephone. So that's so that when I'm out, when I do go out, and I'm away from the business, I'm away from the business. You can't get in touch with me. I also have an answer service, so I have calls that come through and somebody answers them for me,
Uh-huh.
and I put notes on there if I'm out. I put notes on and say, I'm not available. Don't put any calls through to me. And I think that's vital, because it just it gives you that little bit of a breathing space for your own personal space.
True.
And I do tend to try and do Monday to Friday,
Uh-huh.
so that I don't work weekends, and just walk away and have a little bit of a chill time, because that's as important as working. So you got to give yourself a break.
True, and I like the way you cut yourself off. When you are in the office, then you're in the office. But when you're away, you're totally
Yeah.
away. Nobody can reach to you. So that's interesting. So I mean, we need to make sure that the interview is full of learning. So can I quickly ask, what challenges are you facing currently in your business?
I think the challenges that I face are the same as most other businesses in attracting clientele. So getting over to my particular clients, so the clients that I could benefit from my service,
Uh-huh.
is how I can help them. What I offer that improves their business. So
Right.
from my perspective, obviously I do outsource complaints handling and compliance. So from that, obviously that's a very wide range of services, particularly in the law field. Um, so complaint handling takes you away from fee earning. And basically, if you're a solicitor's firm or a barrister's chambers, you need to earn fees. That's your business. You're earning fees from clients. If
Right.
a client makes a complaint, then you've got an obligation, a regulatory obligation, to deal with that complaint. But that again takes time for you. So
Mm,
that time you could spend better earning fees. Whereas, because I've done this work, I've been in this work field for 24 years now. So
mm,
I've dealt with this kind of thing. So if you hand your complaint off to me, you know it's going to be dealt with adequately. You know it's
right.
going to be dealt with within the regulatory field, and it's going to be done well.
Uh,
And then you're still earning money. So that's trying to get that over to my clientele is what I find difficult. Is sometimes people, and understandably, don't want to let go of that work. But the benefit with my business is you can continue to fee earn whilst I deal with one of your regulatory obligations. The
mm,
same with compliance. particularly solicitors firms, when you have to have uh, your PCPs in place, and you've got to devote time to it. The same with barristers' chambers. You've got to make sure you're complying with your code of conduct.
Mhm.
So if you've got to take time to do that, you're not able to fee earn. So then it's going to be me. If I do that, then you're still fee earning, but you're still meeting your regulatory obligations. So that's what but getting that over to people is sometimes what I find hard.
Right,
What I find most, you know, it is a great acknowledgement of my services if I get recommended. So I've had a
right,
few recommendations over the years. I get recommended to other people because of the work I've done for previous firms, and that's great. But that is one of the challenges, and I think it's with every business really, is attracting new clientele, whilst maintaining the clientele you've already got and making sure
right,
the service is great for them too. That if there is any problems with the service, that you address them adequately. But the main challenge really is attracting new clients and
right.
keeping the business moving along with
Right.
that business, the clientele.
Of course, Barbara, and I think you rightly said that. That's something which majority of the businesses owners struggle with.
Yeah.
Uh, but you've been quite honest in talking about it, so thank you for doing that. What are your aspirations for your company in the next 5 years? I mean, where do you see yourself in next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I'd just like to see me have some more consultants, because the consultants I have on board are absolutely fantastic.
Right.
I handpick them. I speak to everybody personally and make sure they match what I want. What I want from my consultants is somebody who's down to earth, practical, gives practical advice, is able to assimilate information very quickly, and is able to look at complaints and see the woods for the trees, and give the service that I want. So I want an excellent service to my clients, but I want something that you can talk to. I'm not aloof, and somebody can approach me and I'll talk to them.
Of
Not a
course.
problem. So in the next 5 years, I'd like to see my consultancy base go up. So I'd like to see me have what maybe, I know I've got sort of 4 consultants at the moment.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to see perhaps 10, 15 consultants,
Wow.
um, and have the business just increase its clientele, its client base,
Wow.
and have just a super team around me, which I have now. I've got a great team. They're all absolutely brilliant, and I just want to build on that and have a great team, a bigger team, have more clients. That's it.
Barbara, thank you so much. Some great strategies that you already have in picture for the next 5 years, and that is so good and so inspirational to hear from you. And I'm sure our audience have learned and picked up so many things. So, is there any closing remark before we wrap up, or a golden nugget that you would like to share?
I just think, what I would say is, you need to put the hard work in to a business. And I love what I do. If you love what you do, it's not work. It's a joy to come here every day and speak to my clients and deal with the issues that they have. I get great satisfaction from it, and I just love what you do. And that's basically it.
Thank you so much for your time today, Barbara. I literally enjoyed podcasting with you. It was great meeting you and learning so much about your journey. And to everyone watching, I look forward to see you in my next episode. Thank you.